If you live in any of India's bustling cities, chances are you are a part of an urban concrete jungle. Well, in the next 3 to 4 years, India is expected to build 200 million square feet of commercial space and 45 million square feet of retail space. And that's not even including residential space. Now picture this. Real estate development is one of the huge contributors to global warming. So with our hunger for new construction, you can be sure we have a big challenge on our hands. With global warming, our cities are going to be hotter than they already are. Water levels will rise, bigger storms will strike our coast. But here is the good news. The rising concern for global warming is driving a change in the thinking. People across India are searching for more sustainable solutions that tap into the power of Shunya. Over the next half hour, we will look at people who are breathing new life into India's buildings and striving to achieve zero carbon emission and zero energy waste. Olympia Tech Park is one of the biggest and most sought-after IT destinations in Chennai. It's an ode to the concept of eco-friendly and sustainable building design, and it's an inspiration for developers. Join us on an exclusive walk through this massive eco-friendly building complex that is working towards the bold goal of zero carbon emissions and zero energy loss.
A new dawn has risen in the heart of Chennai, in the center of the city's hustle-bustle. With rampant construction and rapid urbanization, towns and cities in India have developed by leaps and bounds, but mostly at a grave cost to the environment. Olympia Technology Park, rated the largest LEED Gold-rated green building in the world when it was certified in 2007, aims to be a path breaker. And Ajit Chordia, Managing Director of the Olympia Group, believes that eco-friendly buildings are not just a fashion statement in India, but a dire necessity.
With the way in which the education is spreading, the number of graduates which are coming out, so there will be more and more requirement of buildings like the IT buildings which are there, which employ a very large number of people. Industrialization is also going to take its, gather momentum, but the green building movement is here to stay. And the green building movement will have to be adopted by the people, by the developers. There is no two words about it. We have no choice.
Power-guzzling generators, electricity-hungry lights, and monstrous costs. That is the state of most commercial and IT hubs in India and the world. The problem is magnified when most parts of India face acute power shortage and demand for power exceeds supply. For a large building, power consumption can go up to 300 kilowatt hours per square meter in a year. Spread over more than 1.3 million square feet, Olympia Technology Park takes these demons by the head and optimizes energy and efficiency.
The building which we are in houses the entire power plant as well as the building management system, that is the control room. So that is also housed in this particular building. Today with the generator it costs almost 20 rupees to 22 rupees per kilowatt hour is the cost of fuel. Whereas this particular building's power consumption is less by 40%. So there's a direct saving of something like 8 rupee to 10 rupee per kilowatt hour on every unit of power which is being cost of fuel. Whereas this particular building's power consumption is less by 40%. So there's a direct saving of something like 8 rupee to 10 rupee per kilowatt hour on every unit of power which is being consumed, and this benefit goes directly to the occupants.
Within the Olympia Tech Park, intelligent monitoring and control of all its features and systems takes place in this room, the Integrated Building Management System.
each and every system, be it the HVAC system, be it the recovery system, be it the treatment plant system, be it the CO monitoring system, everything is being monitored. Our building is a green building, so in terms of energy, it should be the lowest. In terms of your discharge, we are targeting for a zero discharge. In terms of recycling, maximum recycling. So in order to achieve all this, the controls are being programmed in such a way that as and when the parameters vary, these controls come into the picture and they try to achieve the targets what we have set.
There's no modern building in India, whether it's commercial or residential, that works without air conditioners, and they are heavy guzzlers of power. Most buildings in Chennai work on air-cooled chillers, which are less energy efficient. What does Olympia have up its sleeve that makes it more energy savvy?
So the building was commissioned. We were using for first year with the air-cooled chiller. By the time we were totally engrossed or totally into the, we were obsessed with our desire to reduce the energy consumption. And power cut had also started coming in. Energy costs started going up. So we said, well, how do we tackle this particular issue? And we came with the suggestion, the consultant came that why don't we go for a water-cooled chiller. So we had installed about 2 numbers of water-cooled chillers, and you see there the cooling tower where the water is going, so that cools the water-cooled chiller. So today this building is on a hybrid system. We have predominant load is on the water-cooled chiller, a very small amount of load is on the air-cooled chiller, the air conditioning load which is there.
Reinvent, recharge and reuse. That drives the team behind Olympia Technology Park.
The wastewater which comes out, that is being recycled, and the recycled wastewater is being used for the gardening. Recycled wastewater is being pumped up again into the building for flushing. So where there is no human contact, at that particular place we have been using the recycled wastewater predominantly in flushing of the toilets and in the garden. We still have a lot of amount of wastewater which we are trying to use it in the cooling tower, and the balanced wastewater is being pumped out.
In the end, it's not just about the hours that you clock in or about the buildings that stand out. It's about making a mark on the planet and constructing a building with a minimum carbon footprint.
Power, to whatever extent possible, we will try to reduce the power consumption. As far as waste and water is concerned, we would try to attempt zero discharge in all our projects.
As you just saw, Olympia Tech Park is doing their bit to make sure that ambitious development does not come at the cost of the environment. Now we will take you to another place that is doing its part to add to the green influence and take away from the carbon footprint of India. And that is Palais Royal. You will soon see that this is a building unlike any other. It's a testament to the potential of green buildings in major Indian cities.
Sustainability is an extremely important thing because we must think of future generations. We cannot think only of today. We should think about the future. We should think about what we are giving to our children and the people who inherit the earth.
Mumbai is the city of dreams. But like most modern cities, it is crowded, congested and bursting at the seams. Skyscrapers dot the skyline but are mostly concrete buildings without a conscience. Palais Royal, Mumbai's tallest proposed skyscraper, aims to be a game changer. It's also India's first Platinum LEED rated residential building.
Palais Royal is an intrinsically happy building, modeled on the whole Disney concept of happiness, the happiest place on the earth. Palais Royal, the happiest residence on the earth, zero stress, shunya tanav.
For developer and visionary Vikas Kasliwal, going green was a choice and a commitment.
यहाँ क्या काम चालू है?
Each feature of Palais Royal, from the atrium to the concrete girders, is designed to be environment friendly and yet iconic.
This is the world's deepest atrium. If you look down, it's 215 meters deep. So Palais Royal will have that world record. This atrium, one of the biggest things about this atrium is it gives a huge volume of air. So the ventilation of the whole building is very good from all sides.
The air that will be supplied to each apartment at Palais Royal will be treated to remove all impurities.
Palais Royal is the lungs of Mumbai. We take in polluted air from outside, we deodorize it, dehumidify it, depollute it, and pump in fresh air into the residences, into the atrium, where the world's deepest atrium and the largest volume of air, and that air then leaks out into the community. So Palais Royal really is not just the community of residents living in Palais Royal, but also it's a socio-economic project.
While lighting is optimized through the atrium, the building is engineered in a way that cooling within it for a humid climate is maximized as well.
See that structural cooling, which is a very unique feature of Palais Royal. This is the kind of water pipes which are going through here. We have exposed this right now. And this will go across the whole, all the exposed portions, this entire deck exposed, that entire moat which is exposed. This will be structurally cooled.
The concrete girders at Palais Royal are designed not just to give support, but are multifaceted.
See, we are standing now, which is in the girder complex of Palais Royal. Girders are the ones which support bridges. These are the world's deepest girders. And within this whole hip, within this girder complex, we have created a series of rainwater harvesting tanks. We are going to harvest over 2 million liters of water in a year. And those rainwater tanks also become earthquake damping tanks. So we can walk into some of the tanks here. Look at them. When we have these are all interconnections with other tanks. And through a series of baffle valves, this will act as an earthquake damper because water goes against the earthquake. So if the earthquake is making the building move like this, the water is going like that. It's balancing the weight of the building.
Maximum utilization and minimum waste. That's the green philosophy behind Palais Royal.
We have got 2 sewage plants with a proper backup system, proper sewage lines which allow us to separate between black water and grey water. In garbage, in vermiculture, we have got a system where the entire wet garbage is treated to compost.
Most buildings are built with brick and mortar. While concrete is an indispensable ingredient, compassion for the environment and for development needs to be an essential choice as well.
I wish I could get an exact zero, but from my dream of zero stress, zero tanav, if I can achieve 70%, I think I would have done something good.
After the break, we profile Naya Raipur, an entire self-sufficient township that is paving the way for going green.
वही ब्राह्मण में डर हो गई जो ऐसा बर्तन तारी शादी में कह दे ड्राइवर से तरीके काम बाटे बोले ले हे भगवान हमारा आदमी तो सही सलामत लेकर अब चले
20 साल से ट्रक ड्राइवर के काम कर रहे हैं, लेकिन इंडिया के अंदर में ड्राइवरी में रोड है, गड्ढा है और ज़्यादा एक्सीडेंट होता है। अगर थोड़ा मिस्टेक करते हैं तो गाड़ी मतलब पलटी होने के चांस रहता है।
ट्रक का इम्पोर्टेंट बहुत है, इसलिए 70% माल की ढुलाई या ट्रक से होती है और हम बिल्कुल चाहते हैं कि ट्रक ड्राइवरों के लिए हमारी ट्रक सेफ्टी हो। ट्रक ड्राइवर को इंडिया में आज के दिन में बहुत सारी परेशानियां उठाने पड़ती। ट्रकों के द्वारा लगभग 20,000 दुर्घटनाएं एक साल में होती है। फेस टू ड्राइवर को ही करना पड़ता है।
We have new trucks which we call the Prima range. One of the areas that we really had to work on was the axle. We needed a very strong axle which could withstand high temperatures and high usage.
DuPont has a long history of collaborating with Tata Motors for the development of components. If the rear hub seal leaks, it can cause to the early failure or stopping of the vehicle on the road. DuPont suggested Whiten elastomers for this application, which can be worked at a very high temperature, which will make the trucks more safer for the drivers.
हमको ये जब से प्राइमा गाड़ी निकला है, ये गाड़ी पर हमने अपने आप से भी ज्यादा भरोसा है कि जो हमको रास्ते में कभी धोखा नहीं दी। बीवी और बच्चे को ये चीज है कि ये गाड़ी भरोसेमंद है, एक गाड़ी चलाने से वो लोग के चिंता कम रहता है।
The buildings just keep going up and up. The construction industry in India is growing at a rate of 10% yearly compared with the world average of 5.2%. But as we have learned, buildings in India consume a huge amount of the country's energy and have a big impact on environment and resources. So we need to figure out a way to increase the number of buildings without hurting the environment. In the earlier segment, we saw how two buildings are making a difference with their eco-friendly features. Now, let's take a look at how an entire township is working towards zero emission and zero waste. Could this be the way of the future? Saw how two buildings are making a difference with their eco-friendly features. Now, let's take a look at how an entire township is working towards zero emission and zero waste. Could this be the way of the future?
From up above, Naya Raipur, the new capital of Chhattisgarh, looks like any other city in the making. But the ground reality reveals the blueprint for a future city. Spread across an area of 80 square kilometers, this greenfield city is embracing nature and science with equal fervor.
The whole concept is to build a sustainable town. And the sustainable town includes it should not only be a citizen-friendly city, but also should be an energy-friendly city. We are very strictly using methods which conserve electricity and non-conventional sources of energy. So we have two types of systems. The first is like for the street lighting, we are using LED lighting with focuses on high technology and like dimming at night or after 12, alternate street light will go off. So such energy conservation methods are being used for street lighting. The second part is about using of non-conventional energy.
Solar energy figures prominently in Naya Raipur's use of alternate sources of energy, powering its administrative offices.
We are standing inside the 1.1 megawatt solar power plant. This power plant is special because we are meeting all our daylight requirement for Mantralaya from this power plant. Only electricity is being used in Mantralaya for air conditioning. In fact, we are generating almost 15 lakh units per annum, which is almost 1.2 lakh units per month from this power plant. This is the first captive power plant of this magnitude in the country. Solar energy was thought of because Chhattisgarh is abundant in sun, almost 11 months a year. We have very good sun, and therefore solar plant was thought of. This will reduce the carbon footprint, and we will not be using the fossil fuel also. That was another thing.
Technology joins hands with conservation in Naya Raipur, which houses 55 water bodies.
We are standing on the top of the wash water tank in the water treatment plant facility for Naya Raipur. This is Pachera, where we are putting up 52 MLD water treatment plant. Water is being brought from river Nahanadi, which is 21 kilometers from here. There is an intake well from where water is pumped to this side. It comes, the water is taken all the way from here to the cascade aerator, then dosing, and then clariflocculators, and then it comes to the filter beds, and then to the clear water. This is the chemical house, and that is the pump house where the clear water is pumped to the overhead reservoir. From this elevated storage reservoir, water is under gravity. It flows to 29 underground wells within the city, and then the water supply is made to various sectors. We are not allowing any underground water to be tapped, and therefore boring of wells is banned in Naya Raipur.
With a 27% green area, administrative and residential sectors, amenities for education, non-motorized transport systems, underground channels of communication and transmission, this satellite city is on its way for setting new benchmarks.
We now want a city with zero tolerance on, lesser quality. We want quality, 100% quality. We want ecology, 100% facility for ecology. We have the city which we can cycle around. We are going to use BRTS, which is going to happen in another year, which will have lesser emission. We will use battery operated and electricity operated buses or small carts or transport facilities within the city. So as far as transportation is concerned, we will be using those technology, the best technology that is available for lesser carbon emission. Second aspect is that we are not going to invite any such investment on industry that will emit carbon.
Green in Naya Raipur acquires a new shade, with most of its buildings being constructed with eco-friendly material.
When you look at the planning part of it, even the orientation of building should be such wherein you use the natural light maximum. Similarly, the water should be conserved, water should be reused, no water should be discharged. We are going in for rainwater harvesting. It's a mandate in the city. Every building which is being constructed should have rainwater harvesting facility. Beyond that, even the material which is being used for construction is eco-friendly. We are using fly ash bricks. That is one of the part of the green building wherein you minimal hinder with the resources. So all the bricks we are using are fly ash bricks. Fortunately we have a mix of black soil and the hard soil, murum soil, which is non-available. Since our 26% of the area is green, whatever black soil we are removing, the top soil we are reusing for having our greens. While as far as the brown, this murum soil or the hard soil is concerned, it's very good for construction. So that itself is very useful.
With a stress on zero carbon footprint, Naya Raipur is not only setting a precedent for other cities, but is also on a quest for sustainable living.
An IT tech park, a skyscraper, and an entire township. They might just seem like ordinary concrete structures, but they are a glimpse of a future that revolves around going green, and a future that India cannot escape. The green features of these buildings allow them to consume less energy, which helps them in minimizing their carbon footprint, a goal that India needs to put into practice soon. If you consider yourself an innovator and have an innovation that can have a positive impact on the lives of billions of Indians, do write into us at powerof013@timesgroup.com. Until next week, it's me, Anupam Kher, saying goodbye. Keep watching and stay inspired.
Next week on The Power of Shunya, we take a look at an innovator who bets big on wind energy for a lower carbon footprint. A company that is tapping solar energy for zero power shortage. And a technology that uses biomass to achieve zero dependency on fossil fuel.
हस्बैंड रोड एक्सीडेंट हुआ, दैट मीन्स उसका कुछ अनसेफ्टी थी, तो टाटा स्टील में मैं हस्बैंड का सर्विस हमें मिली है.
We were seeing women employees wearing the traditional sarees that could lead to major injuries.
हम लोग टाटा स्टील में साड़ी से पैंट शर्ट में आना पहला लेडीज थे हम लोग. औरत सब कुछ कर सकती है.